Welcome back to Keys Advisors, everyone. Now, there is no doubt, and I think in anyone's mind, that the biggest IP that Warner Brothers owns is Harry Potter. There is nothing that they could make more money off of, nothing that could be more successful than projects they do with Harry Potter. But those projects have to be good. As we've seen with the new Quidditch game, sometimes they just don't make the cake. Now, I understand that the Quidditch game is kind of fun, and I was watching X-Wing play it the other day, and it looks enjoyable, but it cannot be argued that it is not quite what anyone should have been expecting. A Quidditch game should have had, all 6 or 7 positions actually playable. It should have required, 3 actual players, and the rest of your team is NPCs. That's just dumb. And it should have followed the actual rules of Quidditch. Not that there's multiple snitches and it's only worth 30 points. And when you catch the first one, the game keeps going. That's not the rules of Quidditch. Oliver Wood lays it out very clearly in the first movie. Do it right, guys. But the most successful game last year was Hogwarts Legacy. Blew away any expectations that anyone had for that game. Now, it's true that the map was a little empty if you got outside the castle. And it's true that there wasn't a whole lot of replay value for that game. But no one can argue with the facts of that game. Over $1 billion made. That's billion with a B. That's a lot of money. So, of course, the Warner Brothers Discovery CFO said that a Hogwarts Legacy sequel from Warner Brothers Games is, quote, one of the biggest priorities. Let's look at this article, guys. On the heels of Warner Brothers Games releasing Harry Potter Quidditch Champions, again, I haven't been extremely impressed with what I saw. It looks kind of fun, $30, maybe I'll get it. But it's just not like a day one purchase for me. And a Harry Potter game should be a day one purchase. Quote, obviously, successor to Hogwarts Legacy is one of the biggest priorities in a couple of years down the road. Now, that's a little concerning that it's going to be a couple of years. Does that mean that they're currently working on it and the expectation is that it'll be out in, a year and a half, 2 years? Let's hope. Let's hope that they have the most of their gaming team working on this. Let's hope no one's working on what was the Death of the Justice League. Let's hope no one's working on anything for that. And I don't think they're doing anything with Hogwarts Legacy anymore. I think they're done. They might be supporting it, but I think they're done with DLC and stuff like that. I don't think they're doing any of that. I think they're going straight into a new game. So when is this game going to be? Well, there is a quote from the CFO, and I'm not sure if it's going to be in this article. Let's see. 22 million copies. That's crazy. 2 million during Christmas. And so why is that such a big deal? Because the game came out in February. And a tenth, I think I got my math right there, a tenth of their sales were 10 months later. That's huge. Is it 707 million hours played? It's incredible, guys. I'm trying to see. Okay, it's not in here. So I'll just tell you what the quote said. So during an interview, it was probably this interview, the CFO basically said that it was going to be a direct sequel. So does that mean that it's going to be during year 6? Because remember, this started in year 5 of your character. He got some accelerated thing. I still feel like the game should have started in year 1 and given us 7 games to go through. Give us 7 enemies to fight. I think that would have been cool. So we've got a new game coming out probably in the next 2, maybe 3 years from Warner Brothers. It's going to be, according to the CFO, a direct sequel to Hogwarts Legacy. Sounds good. Let's hope that they fill in the map a little bit more. It's a magic castle. The castle changes. Let's move things around. I think adding things will help with that replay value. And that's something that they need to work on. There needs to be a reason to replay it beyond just getting achievements to play as the other houses. I'm not quite sure what that would be. Maybe, well, I'll tell you one thing they could do. I'm not a huge fan of it, but I think it could work in this to help with the replay value. Is take a chapter from Mass Effect and make certain missions lock. So certain missions lock throughout the game. With Mass Effect, you've got certain side missions that you can do, but if you proceed far enough into the story, you can't get to those missions anymore. So things like that, I do think help aid with replayability for video games. I'm not a huge fan of them, so I feel like they should be used sparingly, especially if there's nothing that tells you, hey, this mission might disappear soon. And that's kind of what I'd like to see. I'd like to see more replayability. I'd like to see a fuller map. I don't know what that would look like, whether it's making the overall map a little smaller, making the castle bigger, which could be fun. I'd love more hidden stuff in the castle. Maybe give us an opportunity to go to the chamber. Not necessarily while the basilisk is awake. Maybe it's sleeping and we have to outrun it and we forget about it. However we do it, I would like more hidden features in the castle. But yeah, everyone, let me know what you think. Do you think a direct sequel is what they should do? Should they move on and maybe do another one for later with a different character? What do you think about the combat? I think it should stay the same, but what do you think? As always, everyone, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow me on Twitter at KingsAdvisors_.